Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German-American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Yeah.
You
know what I had to remind you? You said there's nothing going on in Germany right now. I had to remind you there's everything going on in Germany right
Everything
now.
is going on. Of
This
course.
is the Schnitzel Boys Bundesliga preview pod. Limited. It won't be a full preview. It'll be a partial preview.
Partial preview. There's going to be 34 games for each team.
That's a preview.
In the end, Bayern's going to win. Okay.
A win gets 3 points. A win gets 3 points. Will Bayern win it this year, Bjorn?
Yes. Spoiler alert, yes.
How convinced are you?
98%. Who else is going to win it? I challenge you. Mainz 05?
Köln?
No.
Maybe RB Leipzig?
How?
Perhaps.
They just sold everybody. And they're trying to sell more people.
Sorry, I'm like, what's wrong here? I'm sorry. Is there a double play? Let me change this. I'm hearing it through my speakers, not through my cans. Let me change that.
You sound quite good to me.
Good, thank you. Hopefully we didn't hear you twice.
I'm complimenting the way you sound.
Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anywho, realistically, I do have some thoughts about Bayern. Now, for those of you at home listening, I'm wearing my Bayern München staff shirt as if I was a staff member of the club. I'm not a staff member of the club, despite me sending them a resume many years ago. They wrote me back, by the way. They said,
what were you applying for?
Many years ago, probably 2014-ish or something, 2015-ish.
Not that
Bayern München. Well,
things. Oh, this was for the New York office?
Bingo. Bayern München opened up a big office over in Lexington. The big sign. It was like Bayern. I Googled who was supposed to run it, some Joe Schmo. I emailed him and I gave him my resume and said, hi, I'm a German American. I'm a fan. I'd love to work in the office. I can be a secretary, whatever. They wrote me back, and they said our entire staff will be flown in from Germany. We're hiring absolutely nobody in the United States of America. And I was like, cool. great way to support local labor.
In order to best connect with the local market, we're going to try to stay away from the locals as much as we can. We try to not talk to locals at all,
or just have even a secretary. Like, you're flying in your secretary, for crying out loud. Anyway, and then a year later, my roommate worked for Bayern München's marketing department. So I'm just like, hey, how'd you get the gig?
And your feelings were a little hurt, or he just
bit.
He worked for different.
No, he was. No, I mean, it hurt. I know he didn't work for the office. He did. He just worked for American soccer marketing, and he would work with Bayern Munich a lot. Like, he came in the apartment one day. He came in the apartment one day and said, I was just on a private jet with Thomas Müller. He was a cool guy.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that was fun. I just spent yesterday.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice. I just spent yesterday sitting on a subway train where a guy was burnt to death or something. And just extreme. God, but it happens. It happens.
Very, very funny. Very funny.
So yeah.
The Germans don't do the cold call.
Well, he wrote me back. As a man who's looking for work now. Man who's looking for work now, nobody writes you back. Nobody. Like, you're overqualified. I didn't get a job flipping burgers. Like I'm overqualified for everything I apply for, and nobody's writing me back. So it just tells you the difference from that 10 years makes. Even then, I could cold email and all, because I've applied for LAFC jobs here in LA. They did write me back. They said no thanks, but it was also more of a general just email. It was like a general email. I think a bot wrote that email. But back then, you send a resume and they wrote you back and being like, no, thank you. But anywho, like I sent my resume in to work for MLS Extra Time, and they wrote me back and offered me a job, but I couldn't take it because the times they offered it was an internship, and the times they offered were against my regular job or something. There was a reason I couldn't take it, although I do regret it. I probably should have moved some things around and gone for it. And then I ran into a man later, it was a little Stefan hour, at a show, and he worked at MLS Extra Time, and he said, I recognize you from the chat. You chatted us a lot. I recognize you from the chat. And he just out of the blue just said that to me. And I was like, oh, wow, thanks. I guess I do chat a lot. I guess I am known in the MLS Extra Time chat. This is back again. This is like the mid-10s. There must be some sort of chat.
Well, that's now defunct. MLS Extra Time. Matt Doyle was complaining in his newsletter today that the marketing people who now run MLS editorial are making him shorten his column.
Hey, good for him. I'd shorten it even more than that. So we've talked about this before. MLS doesn't have American soccer media is bad, and it's getting worse. And then since Grant Wall has died, there's been a big hole that's just getting bigger.
He was the one.
Like I talked about this before, but CBS Golazo, they're not even good, but they're the only ones doing independent coverage. So I give them props for that, even though they use the worst people and they don't really offer much other than soft stuff. It's just so soft. But you know what I'm thinking of doing this year, Bjorn? Speaking of journalism.
Let's hear it.
And my growth and development as a German studies student is I'm thinking of signing for a subscription to Kicker, a year-long subscription to Kicker. Where I get the PDF sent, where I get the PDF sent to my iPad every week or whatever. And I can read all the articles and then get a much more in-depth kind of study. Right now I'm a free man. I go on kicker.de, I go on Bully News, and I go on Yahoo Sports.
They have a lot.
All the articles.
They have, if you have the time, that is a deep source. Like they cover a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, I used to, because I used to, read the print when I was really, it's a big commitment because it comes out twice a week on Monday and Thursday. They would have a full color version on Monday. And then on Thursday, just another kind of more newspaper looking.
It's black and white?
Not black. It was black, white, and red. It was like a newspaper. It had the red logo, and they had some, but it was, it was sort of newspaper paper. Whereas the Monday had glossy paper, but I think that had an insert with newspaper paper. This is in the 80s. I don't know. This probably changed.
Well, this is up to. I don't think so. When I'm in Germany, my favorite thing is to go to a newsstand, usually by the train stations or something, and pick up a fresh Kicker or a Sportbild. They print them every week. I mean, what a beautiful time! What a beautiful country to have full soccer-only newspaper printed twice a week.
I would mail order. I mean, I haven't done that in a few years now, but I mean, until not too long ago, I would mail order the annual season preview thing that had the little, cardboard thing. No, it had the cardboard table where it had it would fold out, and it had little icons that you could detach from the thing for each team, and you could then move the teams around. There were little slots to put these icons into depending on where they were in the table, so you could do your own table update with this.
The analog era was the best era. Don't at me at that. I just there's twofold
on my phone. Yeah,
right. There's twofold. It's more convenient now because it's coming at you, FOTMob, and like I said, I have the ability to sign up for a Kicker PDF, iPad, e-reader edition of it here in the United States, where that used to not be a thing in the pre-digital era, right? It was a Germany-only thing where you had to pay a huge import cost or something. So we should be thankful for the ease of it. but also the romance is all gone. You know, there's no. I can't take my iPad out and open the large map that I put on my wall where I fill out the scores with a marker and stuff like that. I mean, I guess I could print one of those.
Well, I still do that actually. For a World Cup, I will still do that. We will have a poster somewhere that I procure someplace like Upper 90 when they were still called that, the soccer store here in Brooklyn. They would hand them out. Or I've ordered one from the what do they call it? The bad drawers on. Do you know what I'm talking about? The guys in
Bad drawer.
Like these people in England. I think they live in Oxford, and they just are poorly. They're like, it started as the Panini cheapskates. That's their moniker. They would like not want to pay for Panini stickers, and they would just poorly draw in the whole album, and they've turned this into a whole small empire of just poor drawing of soccer players, and they sell them as posters and stickers and mugs. And anyway, so they would also, I have ordered a World Cup poster from them that has like janky looking dudes on the
I do that too in the magazine. Usually I get a nice magazine preview and I can fill it in there. I'm sure I have my old ones lying around, but we'll see. I'm gonna try the kicker, like my German. I'm gonna, in addition to it being in depth, I'm gonna have to Google some words. You know. Here's one for you, Bjorn.
Educational. Yeah, a word.
Yeah. Thomas Müller used the term Motuffe. What's Motuffe?
Motuffe?
Yeah. I thought it was. He said that das war meine. I have to find it somewhere. I think talking about the Raumdeuter. Das war meine Motuffe. So I said, does that mean motif? So I Googled. It does not mean motif. I don't know what a Motuffe is.
Motuffe?
Yeah.
No idea. I don't think I've ever heard that word before. Metuffe?
It like would be metaphor? In there. If you vamp, I could probably find it somewhere.
And a Metuffe. Metuffe is German for metaphor.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. So say that again.
Metuffe.
That's probably what the word was.
Okay. But then
maybe he used.
But that's not what. He uses that word incorrectly. Then, right?
Raumdeuter
is not a metaphor. It's just a.
Maybe I have to send you the clip.
Okay, very good.
So what I did, I was bored over the weekend, and our boy. So I guess we have two things to talk about. I do want to touch on Bundesliga and blah blah blah, and there is a what I've been following most excitedly as a German boy in America is the Thomas Müller arrival to our league.
Yeah,
so I've been following that pretty in depthly
in America, in Northern America, Canada,
in North America. So I do want to touch on that. What do you want to do first? You want to do MLS? We should.
No, let's do this first. Let's do the. Yeah, sure. You were talking about Thomas Müller.
Yeah, so I got bored one night, and he did this press conference, and all the Canadian. It was 20 minutes in English, 20 minutes in German, and not all the Canadians. But a guy on Twitter is like, "Hey, is there anybody who could give a transcript of this German portion? Like, it sounded much more interesting."
And you stepped up.
I stepped up, dude.
I saw it.
Did you? It was a little sloppy. I'm not the best with Twitter, which explains why we have no followers. But like, I did my best to translate the whole thing. I did it rough style. Like, I didn't do word for word. And also, if you read it, I did it very much on the whim. So I changed my style right halfway through my own translating. I went straight from he said, she said to direct quotes.
It was effective. I think it was effective. You got the gist. I got the gist of it. And I had not heard this press conference. I didn't even know, but I read your stuff and was like, yeah, that sounds like Thomas Müller.
Yeah, I mean, he had no real answers to give. He was just there for an hour smiling and making sure not to get canceled, which is what most interviews are these days. But like, and also some of the questions were ridiculous. But it was big report. It was like, it's funny. It shows you the difference of the dichotomy of this, right?
Was he asked about how he's going to win the World Cup? No. He avoided the World Cup question. That's above average. This went better than average then.
Well, this was a Canadian press conference, so they're a little bit more prepared. Their press officer was a nice guy. Talked about his German family and all this crap, and about how he doesn't understand German, but he'll take German questions. And there was no mayor there or anything. It was just Axel Schuster, Jesper Sorensen, and Thomas Müller, three dudes who knew. And the journalists again, the first half from the journalist from Vancouver, it was a dude from One Soccer, it was a dude from Billy's soccerblog.com, right? It was like the North American soccer. And then it was like, well, time for the German questions. It was Taga Show. It was Kicker. It was like television networks and global
real, yeah.
And then it's like, and one more from Billy'sSoccerblog.com. It's like, yes. What size shoe do you wear?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have to go back to my real job.
Real job.
If I can get one in before I have to go drive this cab, I would love
drive the cab. Yeah, which I'm on a timer for. It's not my own cab. I rent this cab. No, but all the star of the show though, who stole the show and is turning herself into a little celebrity for me, was this lady named, I forgot her last name, Amelie Janssen or something like that.
Okay.
She's apparently some woman who moved to Vancouver 10 years ago, followed her boyfriend there, and then didn't really know what to do, so started a Deutsches Küche, right? Like at the fair and stuff, and started making pretzels.
As one does.
And she made, I don't know, did I send you? She made the most glorious spread.
Oh, you did send me a picture, yes.
Oh,
she made this?
That was all made by her. She
for
made
the press conference.
For the press conference. She made the 13 with Brezel, and she made fresh Leberkäse. And then the first question was
apparently his thing, right?
I guess, because they asked him that in the interview. He didn't give a non-committal answer, but it's clearly that was his answer. She made him Leberkäse. He was very thankful for it, and she came up twice. And then I found her on Instagram, and Sportbild covered her and her spread. And now I follow on Instagram, and she sells German specialties out of section 252 at BC Place now during Vancouver.
Oh, so okay. I'm going to describe this video that you sent me, which is, I mean, this is the Germanest thing. Well, except the tablecloth says Vancouver Whitecaps FC. So that's the only giveaway that this may not be happening in Germany, because there is a tree of pretzels, first of all, in the background. And then in the foreground, there are just plates of little canapé type things. And then this huge spread of sausages and cheeses and breads. And it's arranged in a way to have the bread spell out the number 13 for Thomas Müller's
NTM.
NTM in the middle. Yes, 13 TM 13. It says amidst a sea of high sodium meats and cheeses and little bit of vegetables, just to keep it honest, but not a whole lot. Very carby, a very, very carby spread. There's cookies, there's a lot of bread, cheeses, some grapes, and everything is just ready to grab. Everything is in Mundsteckstückchen. Is that something that you're in Mundsteckstückchen?
Mundsteckstückchen means mouth.
This is what my mother used to say when it was like when she would make a sandwich. She would ask me, in Mundsteckstückchen, and I'd be like, oh yes, and that would mean she would, it's like
finger food size
pieces to put in your mouth is the translation. Pieces to put in your mouth. So she would cut it up into little squares that I could, you could just grab and just drop right in. No biting or cutting required. And so this whole spread also, except for the pretzels, which I guess you got to bite off, everything else is in Mundsteckstückchen.
Yeah, and they asked him, he had a little bit, and they asked him, it's like, are you going to get Leberkäse? They're like, yeah, whatever, fine, or whatever I can't find, I'll fly in or something. But it was just funny. They kept asking him the most crazy question. I want you to hear it because maybe you can translate more of the nuances for me. Pretty much one guy was like, hey, Thomas Müller, am I correct in thinking you've never left Bayern except for like the longest you left Bayern was for like a World Cup camp somewhere else? And he's like, yeah, that's correct. He's like, have you ever been to Canada before? He's like, no, this is my first time. It's my first day here. And he's like, how are you going to handle the lifestyle living here? I forgot the exact question, but pretty much asked him how he's going to handle not living in München anymore, the totally different lifestyle. And Thomas Muller's like, well, I mean, I'm an adult. I know how to vacuum and stuff like that. It's like that stuff I can do myself. I don't know. He's like, I find myself to be pretty adaptable as a person. because like he does it on the field and off the field. And he also said the most German thing, which I really appreciate. He's like, for me, it's all about that soccer. It's like everything else just muss nur passen. How would you translate to English? I wrote everything just has to be decently okay. But like, what is like? He's like, alles muss nur passen, aber für mich, it's most importantly for the foot. Like he's just in it for the work ethic.
Alles muss nur passen. Yeah, well, that is a very German.
It's a very German phrase. Pretty much, it means it needs to work, but doesn't need. It's not about my comfort or anything. It just needs to work.
Yeah, it needs to work. Everything needs to fit. It needs to be a good. Everything needs to just be rolling.
Right. And that's what he says, like the house and the groceries and it's like whatever. It just
exactly. You just gotta have, once you're set up, then you just do the same thing over and over again. I mean, it sounded like I just heard the post-game interview after he gave his debut. His debut came off the bench against Houston Dynamo. Afterwards, he was basically saying how it was a bit of a whirlwind. He came from Germany, for a week. He's been everywhere. He was in New York, I guess, and then Vancouver, and just a lot of, getting a lot of attention. And now he's like just looking forward to actually being in his apartment and just kind of hanging out and like getting his routine going. He's probably he's probably a man of habits. And so once that's set up, he'll just keep doing it.
And he's been answering, by the way. Did you see his interview with Mo Adu on MLS? That was probably in New York.
Oh, I saw parts of it. Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing.
But yeah, they asked him, "What's your best five-a-side?" And Thomas Müller is like, "My best five-a-side." He's like Kubas, Brian White. He just started listing all his Vancouver Whitecaps teammates.
Oh, very good. Yeah,
he is just not. It's so funny as a DP, and this is an MLS thing. Like everyone's egging him on to talk about stuff unrelated to his team and the league. Right? They're like, talk about the World Cup, talk about Germany and Bayern München, blah, blah. And he is just thwarting 100% of it and only talking about Vancouver Whitecaps.
He's just, this is
like my best.
This is what I'm doing.
This is my gig now. I'm a Vancouver Whitecaps player. And, he's older. He spent the last year in rotation, and the German national team was like, should we keep him? Should we not keep? I think he's looking forward to be a 90-minute player again. Like, he's just like looking forward to playing soccer again. Because he wasn't playing a lot of minutes at Bayern and in Germany. He was a guy who came off the bench for a while.
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't think that's his role. And you can see, by the way.
I think you're really right about that, actually. I think that's a really good point, that he because he came off the bench and he was like, ready to run the show. Like he was like, I'm gonna do what I can for this operation here. And I think that's also kind of shown through of what he was saying about why he even picked the Whitecaps in the first place. Like if they could win something, it'd be really special for them and for him. And he doesn't want to just kind of ride into the sunset and give interviews and be a poster child for Germans in Cincinnati or whatever. He wants to really do something. So yeah, that is very cool. And he looked good. I thought.
Yeah, me too. But who else looked good was just Vancouver. I've seen them before. They were very disappointing in that Champions League final.
Yes,
but like they play good soccer, and then watching this game with Houston Dynamo, it's like, man, they play really good soccer. Like under Jesper Sorensen, it's all one-touch football, maybe two. They are just moving that ball quick.
Yeah, they have a lot of offense. They have a lot of quality on the ball. They have a lot of talent. And I think he fits in. I mean, they got really unlucky. How did they not win this? It's crazy that they didn't win this game. Thomas Müller he scored a banger, we thought, right off the bench, second touch. But then Brian White was offside in the build-up, so it didn't count, which that was really unfortunate because that would have been a bummer. That would have been like a Zlatan kind of moment.
Right. Exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking Zlatan. Because literally it was like he was in it 2 minutes in. We've been talking for weeks, hyping him up. I would love the fact that 3 minutes on the field just slammed one in the back of the net. And he did. It's just because the offside wasn't related to him. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, he wasn't offside. It was Brian White. He headed the ball back to him from an offside position. So
you also see him moving. Like Vancouver moves really. Their off the ball movement is good.
And that's his thing. So that's his thing. So yeah, this could be fun. And Vancouver, like you're saying, they were fun to watch early in the year. Because they're a good team. But then
there's also that moment where Rios took the ball.
No, go ahead.
You see that moment where Rios took the ball off his foot, like Thomas Müller was about to slam in another goal, and then Rios sort of miscommunicate. Like does those things where like you got to. He's only been here. He's only had one training session. I think.
Yeah. It's gonna get better.
That's one of those things. Rios, get out of the way.
Unfortunately, Artur scored a similar banger, and it counted to
out of nowhere.
Really out of nowhere. Houston looked completely destroyed. I mean, and they hit the post. They I mean, they should have won this game 3-0. But it didn't happen. It ended up being a 1-1 tie. And Müller was bummed about it. It wasn't like he was like, he was clearly in the post game. He was like, well, that sucked. Like we should have won this. And he was right. Yeah, no, it was fun to watch.
He's ready to be a bro.
This is an influx of high quality Europeans that is maybe better than the average. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Son has been fun to watch for LA. I think Rodrigo de Paul's been very good for Miami. Like this is these guys are for real. They're not just what? No, I'm saying European from the Euro. Euro outcast, the European leagues. Yeah. No, I'm not saying. I know Heung-min Son is not European. I am.
He's from Korea.
But he is. But he played in Europe for most of his career, and that's what I'm talking about,
including Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, that was his. That's where he became big.
As the Bundesliga is good. But yeah, so Thomas Müller, Vancouver, I'm all about it. Vancouver's not playing any games near me in the regular season, so I'm not going to be able to see this train until perhaps the playoffs. Maybe Vancouver and LAFC will get each other in the playoffs or something. I can see that Son versus Müller showdown, which I'd love to see.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. You can watch the Rodrigo de Paul and the gang head up to maybe New York.
They're coming our way. Yeah, they're still playing.
Do you feel like you're going to make the playoffs this year?
Oh, yeah, we're making the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah.
We lost you. You're mute. You're entirely mute. Is that me?
My levels are showing up. I see levels. I see levels on the...
Entirely mute. Can't hear a word. Could just be me.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't hear what you're saying. Let me open you on YouTube. Maybe it's a me thing.
Okay. Yeah, let's check it out. I see my levels here on the mixer, but maybe I did something. Do 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 do. Kurze Unterbrechung. Eine kurze Unterbrechung. Well, I could talk about if people can hear me. I could talk about Bochum's labored survival of the first round of the DFB Pokal. That happened this weekend. And Bochum were playing against a 4th division team, heavily favored, of course, but they needed overtime. They needed to go into overtime to win the game.
I can see you, but I can't hear you or load internet pages anymore. Look at something.
So yes, Bochum were playing. See, now I can't even remember the name of the opponent. This happened on Saturday, and it was BFC Dynamo Berlin from Regionalliga Nordost, and we were behind. Then we got the late equalizer, and then there was a win in overtime. So that was a bit of a nervy DFB Pokal. Remember the name of the opponent. This happened on Saturday. That's me. and it was BFC. I can hear. Oh, okay. So Stefan is sorting out his technical difficulties. It was going so well there for a second. Anyway, so a 3-1 victory for Bochum over BFC Dynamo. Bochum are going to have a hard season. I've been predicting it. It's going to be a rough one, and but we've survived. The last 2 years we went out of DFB Pokal in the first round, so this is an improvement. Just yesterday, Dortmund survived at Rot-Weiß Essen of Liga 3. So that was kind of a local derby, Essen against Dortmund. That doesn't happen all that much because they're 2 leagues apart. And but Dortmund ended up winning through a late Guirassy goal.
I'm back, baby.
You're back. All right, I can hear you.
I have no idea.
You can hear me as well?
Yeah, and I heard you on the YouTube, so it was just me. I lost audio.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I had to turn off.
Yeah, I thought I could see my levels, so I was somewhat confident. But
so I apologize.
I was
talking
about DFB Pokal, VfL Bochum. That's not something that you would be interested in. So no.
Well, Werder Bremen lost, right? Lost to a third division team.
That was the only big upset. Bochum were trying to be upset, but it didn't happen.
Rot-Weiß Essen almost got themselves
Rot-Weiß Essen I was just saying that Rot-Weiß Essen played a hard-fought game against Dortmund, but Guirassy bailed them out. Well, we also had Hannover from Bundesliga 2 lost to Cottbus. They're in Liga 3, so. But you know what I did?
We also had a really, really big moment in Holstein Kiel, as one John Tolkien scored a goal over Homburg Za in their 2-0 victory for Holstein Kiel over Hamburg Za.
Speaking of great New York City talent, Jimmy Sands is back. Jimmy Sands got the start for St. Pauli after his terrible injury. I hadn't even kept up. I didn't realize, but he started, played 90 minutes, and St. Pauli had to go through penalty kicks to survive against Eintracht Norderstedt. Jimmy was not involved in the shootout. He got subbed in the 90th minute. Yeah, Arminia Bielefeld beat Werder Bremen. Was that even an upset? They made the final last year. I don't know.
Yeah,
and that's when they were in Liga 3. Now they're in Liga 2. They're dangerous. And Werder Bremen, their first victim.
The Giant Killers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we had a lot of DFB Pokal. Yeah, Hannover being eliminated by Cottbus. That is Greg Berhalter's old team eliminating Steve Cherundolo's old team. My VfB Lübeck was eliminated by Darmstadt 2-1 or Lübecker. And by my, I mean I've been through there a couple times.
And
I did want to buy a jersey last time though. Wolfsburg 9-0. They don't need Jar Sargent, I guess. Yeah, there was another game too over the weekend. Was the German Cup or the German League Cup or the newly named Franz Beckenbauer Cup.
Yeah. Stuttgart against Bayern. That happened as well.
Fun game. I watched it. It was a great broadcast by the great Derek Ray. We're back, baby. Bayern München won 2-1. A goal from Harry Kane, I believe, and also a goal from their new signing, Luis Diaz.
Luis Diaz, who was honoring his former teammate Diogo Jota with that video game celebration.
Yeah. I guess
Luis Diaz, I think is going to be very good for Bayern, even though they overpaid for him. Those things can both be true.
Well, I mean, Bayern Munich wanted Florian Wirtz. Liverpool bought him for $150 million. Bayern München's like, we don't even have $150 million.
We don't.
So
even
they
know.
and then Liverpool.
Our calculator doesn't have that many spaces.
We have a German calculator, and we refuse to have more than we refuse to have more spaces. We just won't. But in good German smarty pantsy soccer business, they're like, well, Liverpool now needs to get rid of their wingers because they just got Florian Wirtz. Let's get one of their wingers for cheap then. That's a second-hand winger. And they got Luis Diaz for $90 million.
$90 million for a 28-year-old is not cheap, in my opinion. But okay.
Well, but the modern market. I mean, they wanted Rafael Leao. He was too expensive. People were talking Jadon Sancho. That probably would have been a smart signing. He definitely wouldn't have been $90 million.
I guess Bayern don't care about resale because once they find the people, they just keep them forever.
That's true. Also, they sell 35-year-olds for a lot of money, like Robert Lewandowski. So they're specialists at reset. They're going to sell to Barcelona for ridiculous amounts of money. That's their plan. I mean, that's where Luis Diaz is probably going next. He's 35. $80 million to Barcelona.
Well, I mean, yeah, those are the last few suckers in the international transfer business.
However, I would like to poke a hole in your theory about Bayern München just walking with the league this year.
Ah, all right. Let's hear it.
Well, Bayern München...
Oh, I would love to be convinced of this.
Bayern München lost a lot of players this summer, including Kingsley Coman, by the way, who just went to Al Nassr for $30 million last week. I didn't even know he was looking for a new club. So Kingsley Coman is gone.
Yeah.
Leroy Sané is in Turkey. I didn't know he was looking for a way out. He would look for Leroy Sané gone. Thomas Müller left. He went to a club called the Vancouver Whitecaps in Vancouver. Another thing on that, by the way, during his introductory press conference, he said the last time the Vancouver Whitecaps won a major title was 1979 with Mr. Bob Lenarduzzi over there, and pointed at Bob Lenarduzzi, Vancouver Whitecaps legend. I was like, dang, this dude's research is on point. I guarantee you a week ago we didn't know who that man was. But he was on point to know who Mr. Was it Lenarduzzi? Whatever the Vancouver Whitecaps guy was. But anyway, Thomas Müller gone. Jamal Musiala, broken leg till Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So Bayern München, and they brought in Luis Diaz. So they brought in one guy. Because Bayern München's the kind of club like Sadio Mane. They have enough to splash cash on one exciting guy, but that's really it. They're not the Real Madrids and the Tottenhams and the Liverpools with the 5 guys coming in and the 10.
Okay, well, I'll let you make your case.
Right now, they have a pretty solid starting 11. However, if you saw it at the Super Cup like I saw, and also something you assumed, because if 5 players leave your club and 1 player comes in, you're minus 4 players, right? A club that maybe didn't have the depth it needed last year in the first place to compete in the Champions League and stuff. They have a pretty solid starting lineup because they also lost Eric Dyer this summer too, by the way. But their bench, they don't have a bench, Bjorn. Their bench, it's Kim Min-jae, it's Rafael Guerrero, and it's a bunch of kids you never heard of, including a young Nigerian German named Wisdom Mike. Which I'm really looking forward. He's 16. They had 16-year-olds on their bench, Bjorn, for the Super Cup weekend.
Harry Kane said that this is one of the smallest squads he's ever been on.
Bingo. So Bayern München, I mean, Max Eberl was kind of under the pressure. The transfer window wasn't supposed to be this hard on them.
They got Jonathan Tah to replace Eric Dyer.
Oh, Jonathan. Okay, so they got Jonathan Tah in. I was going to say, did he play at the Super Cup?
He started, yeah.
Started. So he's like,
I've been making that joke. The Bayern brass, like, who can we get that's slower than Eric Dyer? Oh, I know, Jonathan Tah.
Well, but he was on the field. Like all their best players are on the field. Their entire bench is just rotation guys and youngsters. So there you go. That's their depth ain't great. Now, granted, I'm okay with this. Like young Bischoff, like are they the way that they have a great academy, and I support academy development. I do hope they are trying to bring in all these new kids. Maybe not Wisdom Mike, he's 16, but like they got a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds. Maybe it's their time to come through, and they're going to make the next Pavloviches. You know, that I support. So I hope that's what's about to happen. I hope. But on paper right now, they've got a strong starting 11, but not much of a bench. So there you go.
Okay.
Well, we've got 12 days left in the transfer window. Maybe they'll bring in another signing. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things kicking around. They were looking at Nkunku, Nico Jackson. There's all kinds of names floated, so they're presumably still looking. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win the Champions League. I think they're still defensively vulnerable. They still don't have. I think a lot of these Leverkusen players that are moving on to other clubs are finding. Well, I think we will find that they were put in positions to succeed by Xabi Alonso in ways that, you know, if you just kind of take Jonathan Tah, for example, out of a 3-man backline and drop him next to Upamecano, that's a very different kind of a thing. I mean, the same thing's happening with Frimpong, or will be happening with Frimpong in Liverpool, who also, he was supposed to defend his position, but that's not his strength. So anyway, yeah, it's not like, I'm not saying there's not going to be any hiccups, but who's going to win? Who's going to beat them? Who's going to be the champion?
Well, a team on paper that's deeper right now is Borussia Dortmund.
Okay,
they've got a bench you've heard of.
You believe in your heart of hearts that Dortmund's gonna win the Bundesliga this year?
Over Bayern München?
You had to put significant amounts of money on it. Would you do that?
No, I would not. But I'm not an idiot, Bjorn. I know that Bayern Munich are the super favorites every year. I'm not an idiot.
I know that. Say you were.
I'm wearing the Bayern München shirt. I am a German fan because all Germans have Bayern München as their second or first club. It being my first.
What? I don't. But okay.
Well, that makes you weird. You're weird, especially as a Bochum fan. But because you're the only Bochum fan that rejects the Bochum Bayern München fan union. You're like, screw that. That ain't my club.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Anyway, anywho. But I mean, but the other thing is Borussia Dortmund famously dropped the ball. But the last half of last season, the Niko Kovac thing was working with a capital W-O-R-K.
That is true.
It was working. And all that's happened, I guess they spent the summer at the FIFA Club World Cup. Who knows what kind of effect that's going to have on Bayern and Dortmund? We're still waiting to see what the FIFA Club World Cup.
Well, we know that Musiala's leg is broken because of the Club World Cup, so that's an effect.
Thankfully, Dortmund didn't get out with no injuries, I believe. But I think Borussia Dortmund are looking good. They're like if their momentum continues, they're going to come in swinging. So I think we're going to have, hopefully, because the soul of German soccer depends on it these days. I'm hoping we have a Borussia Dortmund coming in swinging off those good vibes from last year. I don't necessarily have their transfer roundup, but I don't think they had any major transfers this summer.
Bellingham, the other Bellingham
coming up from their academy, right? Yeah.
Well, no, he came from Sunderland.
Yeah, but didn't he spend time with their academy, right? Or is he just this? He's just his new signing. He just
arrived. I saw his Dortmund debut live in New Jersey. He had just arrived. He was playing for. He was on. I think he was on loan from somewhere. I mean, anyway, he was playing for Sunderland, and now he's playing for Dortmund. Job Bellingham,
could be his identical.
He's going to be a starter. They need. I mean, eventually they need a little bit of youth in their midfield. Pascal Gross and Marcel Sabitzer getting a little long in the tooth, perhaps, as a double pivot. So Bellingham needs to help there. Gioreno's on the bench.
No, he's not. He's at Parma.
On the bench. What?
He's at Parma. I think it's Fab Romano confirmed.
Kicker says he was on the bench for the cup game yesterday.
He was, but Fab Romano today says he's off to Parma finally.
Okay.
That's been dragging its feet forever. It hasn't been. It's not official, but it's Fab Romano official. So we're getting close, boys.
Well, he's not as accurate as. Well, anyway, but okay, good for him. Well, that was.
Gioreno's gone. Don't worry about Gioreno. But the young American, the young American at Dortmund, his name is George Campbell. That's who we're looking at. George Campbell, who Stuttgart wanted over the summer, but again, Dortmund valued him at $7 million because Dortmund overvalues their youngsters for some reason. And Stuttgart's like, we don't got $7 million. So he did not go to Stuttgart. He is at Dortmund this season. Young George Campbell, 18-year-old, will he get minutes? He's the American at Dortmund now. Reina's off to Italy. Go, young man. Go play. Go play, Reina. Play. And stop being such a head case. Just say yes, sir, or no, sir, and just go be a good little boy.
Be like Thomas Müller. Get the apartment, get it all going, and then just... Yeah.
Everything else has to know a pass, right? Just
get the Leberkäse, get yourself bring the Leberkäse from Dortmund, the currywurst, whatever you need.
Yeah. Not too much, because Americans tend to get injured because Kevin Paredes is already out for 2 or 3 months. The young Wolfsburg dude who we wanted to keep an eye on.
A lot of them, right? I mean, this is a bit of a slide, but like Ricardo Pepi, right, has problems. Everybody's struggling. Um,
That's
you're
my
right
thing.
about the Dortmund depth, I will say. Looking at their bench and their lineup from yesterday. Yeah, I mean they had this kid Svensson on the left. That he was new, I think. He was new in German. We saw him in New Jersey also. He seemed like a lively left back type. They seem to want to play a three black line now too, and sort of a little narrower. Julian Brandt didn't start yesterday. I don't know if that's indicative of anything. They had Girassi and Maxi Bayer up front together, like with two strikers. So I don't know if that was just like we're trying something out, or if that's a new thing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that team looks good on paper. All right, I'm going with it. They're going to challenge Bayern for the title. Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking at the rundown here. I guess I do have the preview up. Jamie Kittens is
Yeah,
Bruno
he's
Kittens,
gone.
$56 million transfer to Chelsea is their big outgoer. Koulibaly, Makoko have left for a combined $12 million. Marquis signing Joe Bellingham, like you said. Daniel Svensson has been acquired, like you said, exactly what you said. Jan Koto has also been made permanent. It's been an underwhelming transfer window for the club. Don't rule out the return of either Jadon Sancho or Chukwuemeka. The latter, whose price tag was haggled down to $25 million, makes it more affordable. So yeah, Chukwuemeka, who had a great season last year, he is back. Where was he from? Chelsea?
Yeah,
From
he had
somewhere.
to. Yeah, I mean, I guess they could still bring him back. I mean, there really is a lot still in the air with this transfer window, and I mean, obviously, the Premier League drives a lot of that. But there's like
They should also.
this it's like a domino thing. Once
Right.
one team then decides, then it's like, oh no, these people need this replacement, and then this could all happen very quickly. But we don't know.
We'll talk the other domino later because, like you said, it's 100% a domino effect, which means certain clubs don't really make their moves until transfer deadline day because they have to wait for everything to go fall in place first.
Right. If you're not,
if you're not up top,
yeah,
right. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, there is a part of that domino effect. There is another club in the Champions League, in addition to Bayern and Dortmund. That club's called Eintracht Frankfurt, which last year had a great season. They had a very aggressive transfer market. They had a pretty aggressive transfer market this summer as well because they sold Etikite for $100 million to Liverpool.
Yeah,
German clubs are just laughing and taking this money to the bank.
And Marmouche he scored. He had a goal and an assist in his first game. I think Liverpool's happy so far. But
and who do they bring in to replace Hugo Etikite? Jonathan Burkhardt from Mainz, as the domino falls. So Etikite gets to go to England. So Frankfurt calls Mainz, gets there Jonathan Burkhardt, who was a big key player for them last year. Burkhardt is now at Frankfurt this year, and Mainz gets their Obscurio from Sweden or whatever to fill in for Jonathan Burkhardt. And that's sort of an example of the dominoes falling.
Right. But these are not. But Burkhardt is not as good as Ekitike, so that's just not. He's not gonna.
Well, he's got an opportunity to prove himself. We'll see. Right. But he was the man to replace Etikide. We have Tuta Matonovic and Nacho Ferry have left the club permanently. These are the small things. Alongside Burkhardt, Rizzo Don has been the statement signing of the summer with the Japanese winger joining from Freiburg for $21 million. So Frankfurt, and then also Rasmus Christensen, they made him permanent. He was on loan. So Frankfurt are getting ready for their three-pronged attack, their three-fronted war. They got Champions League, they got Pokal, Bundesliga, and Champions League next year. So that's going to be kind of a struggle for them. We'll see.
Yeah, I think they definitely have not gotten better immediately, and
pretty much it's Etikite out, Burkhardt in.
I think that's true for a lot of the other contenders. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen, they start over. There's a new manager in town, Eric Ten Hag, and who's probably
a new American in town, Malik Tillman.
Malik Tillman is there, yeah, but they also lost. They lost
Bayer Leverkusen
and a bunch of talent.
Bayer Leverkusen is a refresh. The project is starting from scratch.
Pretty much.
I'm not expecting Bayer Leverkusen to pick up. It's gone. Xabi Alonso's gone. Jonathan Tah's gone. Florian Wirtz is gone. Like their soul is gone.
Yeah, so this is going to be. They're definitely going to be worse. Frankfurt's going to be worse. Leipzig's going to be worse. They sold Sesko. They're going to sell Xavi Simons probably still this window. So they're getting worse, and they weren't so great to begin with. So it really, I mean, I guess Stuttgart maybe have kept their people together mostly.
Yeah.
They resisted.
They were able to
Nick Woltemade advances of Bayern, but we have to see if he is now pouting, if he's mad about this, or if he's going to be okay. But they have a promising squad, but couldn't really compete with Bayern this weekend.
Yeah, personally, I don't think Woltemade is worth all the hype he's got right now. I'm sure he's a good player. I wish, but he could. Him hanging out in Stuttgart, I think, is best for everybody. He needs to spend a little more time playing, because if he's at Bayern, who knows what had happened to him. A rotation player could usually be flushed out. At Eintracht Frankfurt, Paxton Aronson is a guy to keep an eye on, because we do have the American aspect here. So as far as Americans in the Bundesliga, have Kevin Praise of Wolfsburg when he gets healthy. Paxton Aronson, who spent the last few seasons on loan, is he going to maybe get some real minutes at Frankfurt this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you mean by keeping it. Is he going to stay on the squad? It's not like keep an eye on. He's gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, look for minutes, just like George Campbell at Dortmund. He's not a key figure, but he's a youngster they like. He can start coming off the bench.
But as we go up and down the table, like the only case, like we just said, the only case I can make for a team to challenge Bayern would be Dortmund.
Yeah, I mean, RB Leipzig, maybe they come out left field, because there's always such a big unknown, because all their players are so unknown. So we'll see. But the two teams I do want to touch on before we get out of here is a couple special teams in our hearts. We have a big Schnitzel Boys showdown this weekend, as Mainz 05 will take on the newly promoted Traditionsvereins, the Billy Goats, FC Köln. And FC Köln lost an American, but gained an American, Bjorn. They lost an American, Damian Downs.
Yeah, to the championship.
To Sunderland or no, Southampton?
No, championship. Where did he go?
Yeah,
I think
Sunderland or Southampton.
No, Sunderland's in the Prem this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Southampton then. Southampton. Damian, but they want an American, as they got one Christopher Lund to join them this year.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he is a left back who has been overlooked by Mauricio Pochettino, but he spent a lot of time in the Serie A, and now he's going to be in the Bundesliga. Let me just read this rundown here from our friends over at Bully News. They have a new sport director, Thomas Kessler. They lost Damian Downs and Tim Lemperle. Tim Lemperle went to Hoffenheim, Damian Downs to Southampton here. Max Fingraffer left to join RB Leipzig for $4 million. Replaced by American Christopher Lund on a loan deal. So they have an American left back to keep an eye on. And then we have a couple of other guys, striker Ragnar Ache and backup Matthias Butler have been acquired to fill in some gaps, And then on their goalkeeping roster is Ron Robert Zieler. Remember him? He's the backup. He's a backup goalkeeper. I guess he's still around as a vet. The midfield takes a new look with Tom Klaus joining from Mainz, and Jakob Kaminski
Tom Klaus is joining from Mainz technically, but he's joining from Bochum. He was on loan with us.
Oh, really? On the books? Yeah. And then there you go. Predicted lineup 4-3-3. Schwabe, Zabolinson, Hübers, Schmid, Paccarada, Johansson, Martel, Kraus, Thielmann, Ache, and Kaminski. So, a workman-like 11. There you go. That's our Köln. But they got Christopher Lund this season. I'm keeping an eye on. Now over to Mainz. Mainz lost Burkhardt, who made the Eintracht Frankfurt move for 21 million euro. And then they lost a bunch of other dudes, probably just on a free if you're leaving on loan. And then they got a guy from Union Berlin, Benedikt Hollebach. They signed him for $10 million.
He's good.
They made an $11 million profit, and they added Benedikt Hollebach. So solid work for Bo Henriksen and his boys. Is their good juju going to continue this season? Because they played really well under Henriksen last season, towards the second half of last season. So, I'm very curious about that Mainz-Köln Bundesliga opener.
So who's going to go down? What are we looking at in terms of who are we worried about?
All the clubs is going to sink, you mean? I just want to say also that Leonard Maloney is still at Mainz, right? He didn't get a lot of minutes last year.
No.
I'd love to see him get more into Mainz. Let me just make sure he didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it still has him listed at Mainz. He's that German-American with that passport who went from Heidenheim to Mainz, but at Mainz he only has 5 appearances.
I saw him
to see Leonard Maloney
live in Connecticut when he was briefly with the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to see him a little more. So is that still that thing where, like, Joe Scally's playing week in and week out, but is Zampoli still up top? Yeah, right. Maybe Jimmy Sands will be getting significant minutes.
He's a starter. He walks right back into the lineup after injury.
Those are the 2, right?
I mean,
After that, it's bench warmers and rotation guys, I think, right? Trying to get in there.
That's kind of, I would say so. I mean, yeah, Malik Tillman and
oh yeah, Malik Tillman. That's one. Erik ten Hag, Malik Tillman, the Bayer Leverkusen question mark is one to sign into, because I have no idea. Are they going to get worse? Probably. They're definitely going to be different.
But he's going to play. I mean,
yeah, they signed him as he's a big. I think 25 million. They signed him to be significant from Holland, from Erik ten Hag's old stuff.
Yeah, they're not going to. He's not going to be on the bench unless he.
Unless he screws up. I'm praying for Hamburg. I'm praying for Hamburg to stay up. Last year I had Heidenheim going down, but they didn't go down. They just missed.
I mean, they
I hate to say it. I hate to say it, dude. It might be Zampoli this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. They were not close last year, and they are a very pragmatic group. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. They are definitely. I think Heidenheim. I definitely am worried about Hamburg. HSV's squad is really underpowered, and they're gonna really, really struggle, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love Hamburg, but it took them forever to get out of here, and it'd be just their luck.
And
they make themselves, by the way,
lost.
Go right back down again.
They came up and lost. Couldn't keep Davy Selke. They lost a couple of their key guys, and they haven't really replaced them. And I think Köln is similar. No, I haven't paid as much attention, but I think it's a similar.
They have a new coach. They don't have Gerhard Struber anymore. They have their hot new coach, who
Lukas
is
Kwasniok.
There you go. He'll close the thing. Okay. I don't know much about him at all. All I know is that it's not Gerhard Struber. Gerhard Struber, who's in England again, isn't he? Where's he at? Where'd that boy go?
I don't know.
They signed him in England right away.
Probably coaching Real Madrid soon.
No, he's coaching Bristol City. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
How does he with Bristol City right now? He got a job like seconds later. He got a job. Bristol City. He must have photos. But anyway, Gerhard Struber's in England. Not speaking English, even though he thinks he speaks English. My heart can't say Hamburg, so I'm going to keep it real dumb and real simple. I think Heidenheim and Zampoli are going to sink this year.
Oh, no way. I mean, St. Pauli's now that Jimmy Sands is back. St. Pauli's that's my team. Like, no, I think Hamburg, Köln, and Heidenheim are going to be the bottom 3. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that's smart. Germany isn't like England that the minute you get promoted, you get relegated the next year. I think it's happened the last 3 or 4 seasons in England, right? So, usually the way it works is of the 2 get promoted, one does really well and one sinks, like Greuther Fürth.
Yeah, so that's true.
Last year was Holstein Kiel, I think, right?
In England, England's been very, very difficult. Although just now, Leeds won today. Sunderland won big on Saturday, so maybe it'll be different this year. But yeah,
was there a Brendan Aronson hat trick at that Leeds game?
He came off the bench, not to great effect.
Oh,
they got a controversial late penalty to win the game. But yeah, Brendan Aronson's not going to be a starter on that team, I don't think.
Well, your wisdom is correct though. In that either one, like according to Bundesliga wisdom, either Hamburg or Köln are gonna sink. Maybe not both of them, probably not both of them, but one of them. And I don't want either of them to sink, especially Hamburg. but there's a good chance it's going to be Hamburg. There's a good chance it's going to be Hamburg.
Yeah, I just don't think they are quite ready. I think Köln seemed a little more ready. I don't know, but you never know. Of course, you never know. That's why they play the games, and that's why Dortmund's going to win the league this year. You heard it here first.
Whoa, yeah. Well, this is again, the Bundesliga season is new. We get to see all these new guys from Eastern Europe and Scandinavia, these new Americans, maybe George Campbell. Get to see Christopher Lund up close. Maybe Leonard Maloney will start getting some minutes, we get to see Eric Ten Hag's new Bayer Leverkusen with Malik Tillman. What's that going to look like?
Malik Tillman, the new playmaker of the league. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We will. We don't have to worry about Gio Reyna anymore in the Bundesliga. That's one thing we can let go of.
He's off to Serie A, the retirement league, the home of the Americans.
It really is, the new retirement league.
Yes, and I'm just hoping we got the new season is upon us. I'm really looking forward to that Cologne Mainz Schnitzel Boys showdown. I think Mainz are going to teach Cologne a lesson or two because even though historically Cologne's the bigger club, Mainz has been rocking better as of late. And yeah, I'm curious how Bayern is going to look without their depth. I mean, they might add another attacking player.
They will find some more. They'll find some more people. Should we talk a little bit about our local teams?
Sure.
League Cup quarterfinals also starting tomorrow. We have, those are. Listen,
I almost forgot about that.
People are cynical about the League Cup, and for good reason. But these are some bangers, man. Inter Miami's playing Tigres. Orlando.
I just thought, honestly,
Seattle,
Bjorn,
Puebla,
I was like,
Pachuca, LA. Yep.
I was like, did they abandon that tournament? People just stopped talking. Like, it's
No,
weird
it's
scheduling.
It's
It took
happening
2 weeks off, I guess. No, I know. None of our teams are involved.
Our team, my team, was nowhere near. The two of the teams that we lost to are still in. So I think we're the only team who has two of their opponents have advanced. But my team got a big win against Nashville on Saturday. I almost didn't go. I had some distractions, but then we finally decided to go. Got there 15 minutes late. We were already behind. We had another one of those games where we start slow, but then came back, ground down the Nashville train, and won 2-1. Alonso Martinez, of course, with the winning goal. We had to sit through a weather delay. It was thunder and lightning for an hour. Coach Pascal Janssen was like, "We don't do that in Holland. I don't know. We don't stop. We play through the
right.
They
don't play through the lightning, do they? That's stupid.
I don't know. This is what he seemed to imply, that this was something for him to get used to.
Basic logic.
Lightning seems dangerous anywhere on the planet, but okay. Although maybe they have like these Blitzableiter, these like lightning rods that protect you. I don't know. Anyway, that's how it was.
New York Rebels, same thing. New York Rebels played Philly Union twice.
You broke a streak. You shouldn't be so casual about it. You hadn't won 15 games against the Union.
Well, we had 2 games against them because of a rescheduled weather delay. We had the important game on Wednesday and the less important game on Saturday.
And we
lost the game on Wednesday due to an overtime or a last-minute winner from them. It was a good game. Put up a good fight. Except that... I won't get to that later. And then we played the Philly Union over the weekend. We beat them 1-0. We haven't beaten them in 7 years. And the social media team put out, be like, we broke a streak. We beat Philly Union. And it was such a tone-deaf thing. It's like, we just lost against them in the quarterfinals. The Open Cup, that's the one you're supposed to win.
That was 3 days ago. We moved on. You got to have
that was 3 days. Move on.
Got to have a short memory.
But just like you, it was a big win because we only have 7 games left. I think you have more. You have 8 or 9. But we're 10th place. And
because of the Koreans.
Nashville and Philly Union are both top teams and we're bottom teams. So the fact that we got wins over them or put us in a good spot. What do you mean because of the Koreans? What am I missing here?
Because we had a game postponed because of Blackpink at Citi Field. We talked about this last week.
Oh, that's a K-pop band or whatever?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I was like, well, that's MLS, baby. In the Bundesliga, they don't have games canceled because of a K-pop.
We had, I mean, I was looking at our schedule right before, on Saturday night when we hadn't played, so we had 3 games in hand, but we were in 10th place after you guys won your game. And I was looking, we have 10 games left, and 8 of those 10 games are against teams ahead of us in the schedule, in the table. So it's not
climbing.
Not going to be an easy route, but they're all 6-pointers. Like, again, the Nashville game, of course, if we had lost, we would have been 12 points behind them. Now that we won, we're 6 points behind with 2 games in hand. So anything's possible. And as my son pointed out correctly, we've done worse against the shittier teams. We've lost twice. So we lost twice to Montreal. So it may be good. It's maybe better for us to play against better teams. We don't. Who knows? We're going to Cincinnati, who are leading the league, the Supporters Shield standings. We have to play in their building on Saturday. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they had a big thing with Evander coming back or whatever.
To Portland. Yeah, he clearly was not. There was no like, I'm not going to celebrate against my old team. No, he was ready.
That's right. And the only thing I want to say is the questionable rotation continues. Our bench-warming goalkeeper, AJ Marcucci, played the full 90 minutes against the Philly Union Wednesday for some reason. And we're like, why is our bench keeper playing? And then that last-minute winning goal was just a terrible blunder from AJ Marcucci. And we're like, if Carlos Cornell was in goal, we would have not done that.
But then he gave up a penalty that he then saved on Saturday. So
twice. No, we mix. I'm talking about something else, I guess. But all I'm saying is that, like, whenever the lineups turn, it's a full rotation. He's doing a full rotation system. He doesn't care who plays well, who plays poorly. Our team is full rotation every week. And I, like all the other fans, are just like, huh? Half of these guys should be. The other half didn't play well. And Sandro Schwartz is like, who cares? I put it in the old jumbo machine.
Is in his
rotated me the guys. I'm pretty certain he puts the names in a randomizer, and then that's the randomizer picks the lineups. Because that's what it seems like. Choupo-Moting and Forsberg are always coming off the bench now for some reason. AJ Marcucci played 2 games randomly. 2 important games, by the way. And it's like, is he a starting goalkeeper? And it's like, no, Cornell's back. And we're like, all right, did Cornell do something? Was he? Was there a disciplinary thing? And it's like, no, just Marcucci played the 2 Union games, and then now Cornell's
back. This is how we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. I guess I shouldn't be asking any questions. It's just rotation is happening. We're rotating. Dennis Genyar, a $3 million Norwegian, is just a regular player for Red Bulls 2 now, which leads to what I always hate: bending over backwards for some obscure foreigner just to be on our youth academy. When we have kids of the fraction who can offer exactly the same quality, if not more. Now we have another millionaire on our Red Bull 2 team. So there you go. The New York Red Bulls circus sort of continues. We're 10th place now. Are we going to make it in the playoffs? Maybe.
Well, there's 9 spots for 10 teams, so one is going to be
right. And the New York Red Bulls never miss. So there was that year 2 years ago when they were outside of the playoffs looking in the entire season. And the only time they were in the playoffs for the last 5 minutes of the regular season, and then they made the playoffs.
Then that was it. But you have a tough schedule too, so it's not a given. But we'll see.
Well, we have no more Open Cup games, so we've got plenty of focus, and no more Leagues Cup games, and no Champions Cup games. At least I don't think so. I do believe we have Champions Cup soccer next season for us because we were finalists last year. But there you go. That is the Great American Football Show. We talked Bundesliga this weekend. Get ready. We talked some Thomas Müller in Vancouver. I'm excited about that. We talked Brezel and the Vancouver spread. If you're in the Vancouver area, check out Munchie Foods. I believe it was called.
A very, very good spread.
It was a very good spread. And we've got our 2 New York teams and MLS being MLSing. We don't need to talk about the bad ref calls, the 2 bad handball penalties this past weekend. We'll leave all that be. We'll leave all that be for you guys.
Yeah.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Bis nächste Woche.